with the educated opinion on topics of all varieties. This your boy Bubba, and you already know what I'm about to say, right? You are listening to Bubba's Banter. Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your motherfucking boy. I ain't gotta say no names, right? But I am, anyways. It's your boy Bubba, and you are listening to and also watching Bubba's Banter. I hope you guys are living well, feeling well. I am doing great here. You know what I'm saying? Welcome back to Bubba's Banter, episode 5. Yeah, 5. See, I'm about to be getting confused with these numbers because I be forgetting what day I start this one, especially with all these different like shit that I'm doing, like the reviews, and I'm about to start doing like recaps on like different reviews, and then also I kind of want to do like reaction videos very, very soon. So bear with your boy. But yeah, so welcome back to episode 5. You know what? I'm so happy for this week right now because last week it was all rainy and shit, like from Monday to like Sunday. Well, what's today? Wednesday? Yeah, so Monday to like Sunday or Wednesday, it's just been rainy. Like every single day has been rainy. Well, Monday was kind of sunny, but not as well. And if you live in Portland, you know that we only get pretty much real summer 2 months out of the year, which is July and August. June, we get a mixture, but it'd be sunny most of the times. But like real summer is July and August here in Portland. But this weekend is supposed to be hot from like today is 60s. It's in the 60s. It's real sunny, and I'm just getting excited. Thursday's supposed to be like 70 something, and then Saturday is gonna be 80. So dust those hoochie daddy shorts off, put them hoochies on, and get out there and do what you gotta do. It's gonna be ratchet Bubba this summer, baby. Best believe. But so tonight it's gonna be a solo dolo. Like I told you guys on the reality recap that me and the person that was supposed to do a show this week, our schedule's just getting fucked up. So eventually we're gonna get to that. But tonight, all we gonna do is dish that, baby. We gonna dish that tonight. Just me, just dishing. Okay. But before we start that, please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe. Also, follow me on my socials, which is the Bubba's Banter podcast, also the Real Doc Dre, and like, share, and follow my Facebook page, which is Bubba's Banter. Also, subscribe to all of my streaming platforms if you can, please, or just the ones that you use like Spotify, Apple, Google, iHeartRadio, any of those that you use. Please just go ahead and just subscribe to that. Also, if you need to know where I am streaming at, just click the link tree description down in the bio, and it will show you everywhere that I'm streaming at. All right. So before we start, because you already know, they were designed with the big boy in mind, right? Them bearskin underwear. So these are my favorite. This is my favorite print. They look a little old, but these are my favorite print. I love these. I love these underwear. This is my favorite print. These came out last summer. The watermelon ones. I'm gonna buy me some soon, some more, just because these ones are kind of faded. But I love these fucking underwear. They are so cute. Like, especially these are the cutest. Like, cause my tree trunk is already getting big, so it look like I got a little melon on me. I got melons on my legs, baby. But also, Bearskin got some some swimwear coming out, or it's out already. But summer is upon us, so I think you should go ahead and buy you some swimwear as well from them, because all of their products are really good. They got good socks. They got hats. They got jerseys. They got cargo shorts, like the stretchy kind. Bearskin have some really, really, really good products, so I think you should go out there and purchase you some. All right. But if you use my promo code Bubba, you will get 15% off on your order. Okay. So make sure you go get those bearskin underwear, and let's get it started. Y'all ready? Because I'm ready. Let's dish that. So first up, let's talk about these recent comments from Joe. I'm about to say Joe Budden, because Joe Budden be saying some foul shit too. But let's talk about these recent comments from Fat Joe. He stirred up some controversy by suggesting that artists like Beyonce and Nicki Minaj owe their success solely to their LGBTQ fan base. This is the stupidest shit ever. It is the stupidest shit ever. It's the stupidest shit ever because it's like, Joe, come on, bro. Like, I mean, I guess it's biased for I okay. I guess it makes sense. Let me not say bias, but let me say it makes sense because I was going somewhere with the whole bias thing. But it makes sense for someone like Fat Joe to say that because hip hop has always kind of been like homophobic and kind of like pushing people out that are different. And I think a lot of times people look at being gay, they look at femme, they look because I mean when you think about the average Nicki Minaj fan, they are very flamboyant, very femme. Um, you know, they kind of fit the stereotype of a Nicki Minaj, a Barbie, right? They kind of fit that stereotype, right? So you don't see people who are masculine, like kind of like butch type of Nicki fans. Like, let's just keep it real. And not saying that that's a bad thing, just saying that someone like Fat Joe is looking at like Nicki Minaj and Beyonce, and they're looking like, okay, these people have these fans, and this is the reason why they have what they have. And that's just, it's kind of biased to say because there are a lot of gay hip hop fans. Even while some of y'all motherfuckers are saying the F bomb, calling motherfuckers faggots and shit, there's a lot of gay, like real gay ass men who still love and listen to your music and buy it and stream it. So when you say that, it's just sounding like I'm jealous that these people have these fans because I don't think that I think that Beyonce and Nicki Minaj are international because they have a wide range of people who actually love listening to their music. So you can't say, oh, it's just because of the gays. This is the reason why Beyonce is where she's at. You can't say because of um, the gays. This is why Nicki Minaj is where she's at. Like a lot of people like Nicki Minaj. Like she's a good rapper. So it just sounds really jealous of you to say some shit like that because she is a good rapper. Nicki Minaj didn't like make her way to fame because the LGBTQ came out and rose her up to the top. Like, no, she has a lot of LGBTQ fans, but there's a lot of dudes that actually love Nicki Minaj as a rapper that are straight. They may not be at her shows like that, but like they really love her. You know what I'm saying? And so it just sounds very, very biased. It sounds ignorant to say. It sounds really, really like I'm jealous and I'm like kind of mad and not realizing that you probably also have LGBTQ fans. You probably have a lot of them and you just don't know them because in your mind, being gay is femme. And that's what happens with a lot of people who, especially a lot of straight men who are hip hop. Like, you know, when we look at hip hop today, like think about where we at right now. Like we have so many LGBTQ artists out there in hip hop, and the two biggest right now are Lil Nas X and Saucy Santana. And when you think of both of them, like Lil Nas X kind of looks like he's trying to be like very fluid with his music, but when you look at Saucy Santana, Saucy Santana is like, let's keep it real. He's a or feminine, flamboyant gay man, and so his raps kind of I don't want to say that he's a city girl because I hate saying that about Saucy because Saucy is actually dope. Like that's my sister in my head. Like I feel like I could kick it with Saucy and like we could have good conversations about a lot of shit. Like we could like we will kick it and eat hot wings together and shit. And I'm not making a fat joke when I say that because I know someone was like, "Ooh, you cracking a joke on Saucy." I'm not even digging on him. I'm really like saying like Saucy seems like a really cool ass dude to kick it with. And so like when I think of him, I don't want to just like call him a city girl, but like that's kind of what his music gives. Like he gives a lot of club music. Like that's like you hear Saucy in the club a lot, but Saucy really is a turn up. He's a turn up. So, you know, when you think of like when I think of Fat Joe, it's like you should be okay with someone who makes music like that. I'm pretty sure he's okay with someone that makes music like that. But what I'm saying is he shouldn't be so close minded to think that this is the reason why Beyonce and Nicki Minaj are like where they're at, because they have this group of people standing them. Like, yeah, it's important to have a different demographic of all groups of people to like really push your shit up and get the money that you want to get. And I feel like for hip hop, I feel like that's what y'all should be okay with. Like Kendrick Lamar has fans of all demographics. He has gay, straight, women, men, whatever, bi, trans. Like I'm pretty sure he does have that. It's not just men rooting for him in a circle, jerking off like, yeah, Kendrick, Kendrick, Kendrick. Or, you know, the same thing with Drake. Like Drake has and speaking of those two, I'm gonna be talking about them later on in the show. But I'm just saying, like, it's so crazy to me how people don't take into consideration that, you know, that hip hop is more what we expect. Like there's so many different people who love hip hop music. So it's just so weird to hear Joe Budden. I keep saying Joe Budden. Because you know what? As much as I like Joe Budden nowadays, I feel like Joe Budden would say some shit like this. And I loved, that's one of my favorite rappers too, is Joe Budden. Like that's one of my favorite rappers. I keep saying Joe Budden. And I love his podcast too. So I wish Fat Joe wouldn't have said this shit. I think he should have just like thought this process out before he said it. But I'm sorry to say, but Fat Joe always came off as a loudmouth to me. He always came off like one of those loudmouth Puerto Ricans. Like I'm sorry to say it, and I know that's controversial. I'm sorry, but he always came off like one of those loudmouth Puerto Ricans that would hang outside the bodegas. And I'm not from New York, but I'm stereotyping like a motherfucker right now. But he just seems like to be like one of those people, the loudmouth uncle. Yes, that's what it's given. This next story is really tragic. It's really, really tragic. It's really, really tragic, y'all. It's tragic. And I didn't even know if I was gonna talk about this, but I feel like I should. So a husband reportedly strangled his wife in a hospital while she was there, like in the hospital bed, strangled her to death. And the reason why he did is because he could not afford to pay the hospital bills or like pretty much take care of her. It's a devastating reminder of the consequences of financial hardship. So let's take a moment to talk about this. This man is in Missouri. This happened in Missouri, and yes, he strangled his wife while she was in the bed, and she died there. He is being charged with murder. He's being charged with murder. He admitted to the murder, and it's just really sad to like look at like how. Like, I feel like if you are 60 plus, like you shouldn't have to pay for any medical bills, personally to me. Because I think that at a certain age, like when we think about our like I have insurance, and I was just going through my insurance and in the medical claims, I was looking at how, like if I did not have insurance, like how much money I would be paying out of pocket if I didn't have insurance. Like that's why like as much as sometimes I hate my job, I'm so grateful for my job and the insurance that I have, because the money that I would be paying out of pocket if I didn't have insurance would be fucking insane. And it really made me think about like being grateful for what I do have, because I wouldn't know how to pay hospital bills. Like these people are, like, I can just imagine him looking at that bill and his heart just fucking falling to his feet, because he's like, how the fuck am I going to pay for this? And he probably doesn't work. He's probably retired. Like I feel like, and I'm not trying to talk about old people in a way where it's like they should set themselves up, because I feel like some people are going to look at this and be like, well, they should have set themselves up in a way where they could be able to take care of their bills every month, but it's not always like that. You know, you kind of got to look at people's circumstances a little bit different sometimes, because some people just don't have that, you know, they don't some people just don't have the resources in order to set themselves up for success when they get older. And I think that's one of the things that I've been doing right now. Like I'm about to turn 36, but I've been looking at, okay, what is my life going to look like in the next 20 years? I need to start setting myself up to where like my life is going to look a little different, or I'm going to be able to survive and keep thriving the past, 20 more years after that. So I have to set myself up in a way where like I am thriving. I am taking care of myself. Because insurance is very important. I think even having life insurance and all these things, that stuff is very important to have. And if you don't have it, like you become a burden to your family. But I do want to ask, like, where the hell is his sibling? Like, do you have siblings? Do you have like your kids? Like, where are your kids at? Like, I'm trying to figure this out because when I was reading the report, it said that one of his family members, after that all happened, came and picked him up. But this man is being charged for murder. So just it's such a I don't want to use the word double entendre because I feel like I don't know why that came to my mind when I got ready to say it. But it's just a really sad thing that this is happening. And I think our governments really should get to a point where they are making sure that people like this man are able to have to not do with like financial issues as far as like medical bills at a certain age. I don't mind that coming out my taxes. I don't mind paying for someone that's 60 years old trying to like yeah, like depending on their finances and all this stuff. I wouldn't mind money like that coming out my taxes to help people like that. I think that's a good way to spend money on taxes, especially knowing the fact that we pay for bike lanes and shit like that here in Portland, Oregon. I'm just like, fuck all that shit. I do not care about that. I do not care. I don't care what y'all say. I do not motherfucking care. I do not care. Like y'all can eat my ass. But let's shift gears into another story right quick. You know what? I want to show y'all this picture, right? I want to show y'all this picture before I even like yeah, I gotta show y'all the picture because now, girl. So, have y'all seen this controversial photo that just dropped out that's been circulating online? A student asked a girl to prom and said, "I know I'm not cotton, but can you pick me for prom?" With cotton wrapped around. Y'all see that cotton wrapped around it like cotton balls? Um, this image has sparked a lot of debate online about racial insensitivity. And what's your thoughts on it? Because my thoughts on it is like I would have whooped his ass, and then I would have whooped my daughter ass. I would have whooped my daughter ass so good because even when you look at her face, like you can kind of tell she's like, oh, this is about to go viral. This is gonna look awkward. This is gonna look weird. This is gonna be like she was like, "Oh, this is gonna be weird. This is gonna be awkward. Like they are going to judge me. They are going to be mad at me for this. I'm gonna get so much backlash online." And she knew this shit. And I feel like, sis, come on. And then the dude himself should be ashamed. Like, yeah, I get it. Kids of this day are a little different than us when we were growing up. Like, people like to play around with racist stuff and like make jokes and make insensitive racist jokes and all this stuff. And I know it I know it seems like a cute gesture in a jokingly way, but it's just really like yucky. Like it's really yucky. It's giving race play. Like I don't like this. I really hate it, and I would have probably whooped his ass if he came and asked my daughter something like this. I would have whooped his ass, and then I would have to whoop his daddy ass, and then I probably would have to whoop his brothers and cousins' asses, his uncles' asses, probably the mama too. And I probably have to have if in a perfect world, if I had a partner, we would have been whooping on the ass. I would have been whooping on ass. I would have been whooping the whole family ass, and then me and her would have gotten in the room, and I would have took my belt off, and I would have whooped her ass until she couldn't walk. I would have whooped her ass with a belt, a good ass whooping. I would have whooped her ass. One, because she took the picture. Like, you took the fucking picture when you should have been like, no, we're not going to do this. Like, you could have kept this offline. But the fact that it was a picture and it just seems like a really harsh joke. And I'm just like, where is this at? This has to be somewhere down south. And it has to be in some like, I don't know. I don't want to say this because I was about to, because the conversation I'm about to have in a later episode or later after this, it's kind of controversial. So I'm not going to say what I'm about to say. But it's giving like I grew up with a white family and they are okay with me doing shit like this. It's giving I've been adopted and that my family is allowing me to do this with this person. That's what it's giving. Black girl has been adopted by a white family, and they are letting. I shouldn't say that, but I'm saying it because that's what it's giving. And I know the people who are listening, you can't see it, but I'm going to read it again for you. It says, "I know I'm not caught. I know I'm not cotton, but will you pick me for prom?" Google it, guys, if you're just listening, and just look at it, and just like, it's so crazy to see something like this. I just really want to know, what the fuck were you thinking? Like, why did you think that this was okay? Why did you think this was cute? Why did you think it was okay? Why did you think that it was gonna be fine? But let's uh let's get off this topic because it's already pissing me off now. But it's not, and not so much lighter news. A controversial MMA fighter dropped a video on that's been circulating through online, that has sparked a huge debate with some troubling comments about adopting a black child. And it's so weird to hear like public figures navigate discussions about race and adoption. So I want to say this before I even start, that for me, adoption is a very, very serious thing. So before I even like tackled on this conversation, I kind of talked to a friend of mine who has been adopted, and we had a good conversation about it. And he also was like, "That shit's crazy as fuck." It's so weird to hear someone say something like that about adopting black children. Um, Again, my friend was adopted by white people, and he is a successful black person, um, living in America. Um, and white families do. I want to say this before I get started, because there was a video on TikTok also where this black woman said, "Why do white people um, adopt black children?" And it's been going through TikTok like wildfire. And I think a lot of times people don't necessarily listen to exactly what she was saying, because she wasn't, to me, the woman wasn't saying that. She wasn't asking, why do white people adopt black children? She's asking, why do white people that do this, what this man said, adopt black children? So I'm gonna play this video right quick, and then we're gonna talk about it. Okay. So give me a second. Okay.
I'm not raising black children. I'm raising children. And whether you are black or you are white, no matter what race that you are, there are certain things about being a man and being a good man when it comes to character and integrity and safeguarding the helpless
Girl,
and
I want to
sticking
say
up for
something so
those who
bad.
need it and being a good man of reputation. None of that has to do with skin color. Everything has to do with the character of the man. Probably not an answer that some people would say is important, but that's where the world has gone, where we think that the most important thing about us is our skin color or our gender or our political affiliation or all these different identity politics or the identities that we put on each other, when really we're just human beings on this earth. And there are certain things about being a good person that transcend skin color and age and sex and religion and all of those different things.
I love that answer.
How do I break this down? White savior syndrome is a real thing. And so I want to go back to the black girl asking on TikTok, why do white people adopt black children? We look at that from what it is. And also, what I do know about the adoption agency, that a lot of times you don't get to pick the race of the child. You get to say, this is the age range I'm looking for. I'm looking for this gender. I think you can pick a race, but it doesn't always work that you're going to get another Caucasian child. You know what I'm saying? Most of the times you are getting what's available, right? Like, I need this child to be adopted. This child needs to be adopted. This child needs to, you know. And so you don't necessarily get to choose, right? So I get that part of the aspect of it all, right? But what Michael Chandler, I think that's his name. Michael Chandler, I think that's his name. Um, he's been problematic through social media a lot. Great MMA fighter, whatever. We could tell by his ears that he's a great MMA fighter. Um, God forgive me. I shouldn't have said that. But oh, I get what he's saying. He's trying to say, I want to raise these boys to be great men and good human beings and good people. But the fact that you say I'm not raising black children, you need to stop there, because listen, when you are not around, they are black people. When you, the parent, are not around these black children, and when they grow up and they go out into the world and have to live their lives, they are black people. And people are going to treat them differently due to that. And it's not going to change anytime soon. It's not going to change anytime soon. It's not going to change anytime soon. They're going to walk into this world and people are going to treat them differently due to the fact that they are black. And you need to arm them with that. You need to arm them with the fact that you need to be this person. I want you to grow. You need to instill the morals in them to be this and to be that. You know, you have to do that in order for these kids to grow up and live sustainable lives. You need to still teach them about their roots and who they are. Like, this is why some some black people side eye white folks when they adopt black children. And if we're going to keep it real, I also looked up about some statistics about, you know, the racial, like the people that needs to be adopted the most, or the people who 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 are being adopted the least. And although Caucasian people and Caucasian families adopt the most, they are least likely to adopt white kids. So I don't know if there's a fracture in the system, but like I always want to know why there's that, because what we do know is that 37% of, you know, I don't want to put out bum statistics, but what I found online, which is adoption.org, is that um, most adoptive children, 37%, non-Hispanics, white males, according to study by the Barna Group. However, they are least likely to adopt a Caucasian child. 37% of children adopted are Caucasian. So 37% of them are Caucasian that they are being adopted. But they are least likely to adopt a Caucasian child, right? So there's a fraction somewhere in the system. And I want white people for a second. I really want to I don't know how to touch this subject because I feel like it's very sensitive. Because I do believe there are good Caucasian folks out there who are adopting these people and want to love on these children. And some of these people can't have kids and things of that sort. So I get it. You want to adopt what's coming to you and you want to love that child and you believe that that child is your real child and you love that child. And I love that for you. And I think that's one of the most commendable things that people do when they go out and adopt children. I want to adopt kids. So I get it. I can't have kids. I can have kids naturally, but I don't like women. So that's not sticking my dick in no pussy. And then I don't know how I feel about surrogacy. So there's that. But I do want to adopt a child. I do eventually. I'm starting to get older and I'm like, man, where's my husband? And like, let's adopt some kids eventually. I mean, let's become parents, right? So, um, I get it. I get it. But you also have to understand that a lot of black people side eye white folks who adopt black children due to the fact of white saviorship. We see it. We see white savior all the time throughout social media and stories, you know, in media, you know. I mean, think about during the pandemic when that kid was crying with the cop, right? And then allegedly a few months later he dies in a crash with the family when they drove over that cliff. And there's been multiple stories of, you know, black children who have went to homes with white families and was pretty much just being used and looked at as, oh, I love black people. Like, one of the things that really burns my ass, and I have to say this, it burns my ass, is that when white people say racist shit, and the first thing they say is, oh, I have an adopted black child, as if that gives you some motherfucking keepsake from saying something racist or doing something racist. That burns my motherfucking ass. It burns my ass because I see a lot of white people. It's almost as if, like, oh, I have a black friend, so I can't say racist shit. I have a black girlfriend or a black wife, I can't say racist shit. We have to understand that a lot of black people feel the way that they feel is because they see how some white people really use adopted black children as, and not just black children, but any fucking like race, as if some keepsake to keep them away from dealing with racism or dealing with their own racist issues. And mind you, some of these kids are like a paycheck for some of y'all. So let's also talk about that. But I also know that there's people out there who really do want to adopt children and love on children. All these people on TikTok talking about, ooh, 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 he said the right thing. He said the right thing. He didn't say the right thing. Like, he didn't. You are raising black children. Sorry. I don't know what the fuck you're not looking at, but you are raising black children. It's just so sad. It's just so sad. But God bless those children. I hope that Michael does a good job as a father, and I hope his wife does good as a mother, and y'all raise those kids in the right light, in the right perspective, and that they thrive. That's all that matters to me. It's about the children, right? But like, let's just not. I just really want to say it again. Let's not act like black children do not have a different experience growing up in the world. We deal with racism at a really, really young age. I dealt with racism when I was in the first grade, trying to go to my friend's house to watch motherfucking Power Rangers with him after school. And his mom did something racist, and I didn't understand it until I told my mom what happened, and she never allowed me to go back over to that house ever again. So let's not talk about, you know, I'm not raising black children when you are raising black children. Those are experiences that black children just may go, or will go through in the world that we live in today. And your money is not going to stop that from happening. So, yeah. Okay, and finally, bro. Finally, we are here. We are here. Kendrick motherfucking Lamar and Drake. So first, let's talk about the track list. So I'm not gonna play the songs. I know that Drake or not Drake, but Kendrick pulled all the copyrights off. So pretty much you can talk about it on YouTube, you can play the music, and you can stream off that shit. So I think what I am gonna do is maybe I'm gonna let things kind of like die down, like, because it's still dying down. We all know Kendrick won, but things are kind of like dying down. And I kind of like I'm feeling like something's going to happen again eventually, but because there's more reports coming out. So as you guys know, Drake dropped, Push Ups April 19th, and then he did the Taylor Made shit that got pulled off, and then Kendrick dropped Euphoria, where he was like, I hate the way you look, I hate the way you talk, I hate the way you dress. And he was going in, fucking went in, and then he doubled up with 616 in LA. And I think that is a play on how, Drake drops a little Dallas 7 a.m. in Dallas or whatever tracks that he does. I think that was the play. And then Drake dropped a video of Family Matters, which was stupid. I think that was stupid as fuck. Like, everybody was like, ooh, that was cold. But the funny part about that is 30 minutes later, Drake dropped Meet the Grams. And nobody was playing Family Matters no more after that because it was stupid. And then Kendrick dropped Not Like Us the next day. West Coast, you know what? And the sports people are playing it on their like ESPN. All these people are fucking playing that song like out like crazy. They're playing that shit like crazy, bro. And then Drake dropped the Heart Part 6, which we all know. I think he got that shit from Twitter. Both people said a lot of shit in their tracks, and I think a part of me feels like someone is not telling the truth, or someone. I feel like, oh shit, I don't know why I did that. I feel like someone is not telling the truth. Um, I don't know who's not telling the truth, but you already know I'm a Kendrick stan, so we ain't gotta really, even talk about that. But I don't know if y'all guys know. I think yesterday, one of his security guards got shot at his Toronto house. So the motives are unclear right now, but the guy was shot, I think, several times, and he got shipped to the hospital for surgery. They said that he's in serious condition, but I don't know. Like this, I don't want it to get to this point, because I think that's crazy. And I think the crazy part too is just that um this shit can really go somewhere. This shit can really go somewhere. Like, it really can go somewhere. Because I mean, we saw with Tupac and Biggie, it can get really big if it needs to. But the fact that Drake or Kendrick actually dropped where Drake stayed at for the Not Like Us, and had the sex offender tags on top of the house, that was crazy. That was crazy. But one of the things that I loved in this song, where Drake and were not Drake, but Kendrick was talking about this dude, Drake, and he was like, once upon a time, all of us was in chains. Homie still doubled down, calling us some slaves. Atlanta was the mecca, building railroads and trains. Bear with me for a second. Let me put y'all on game. The settlers was using us for town folks to make them rich. Fast forward to 2024, you got the same agenda. You run to Atlanta when you need a check balance. Let me break it down for you. This nigga, this is the real nigga challenge. You call Future when you didn't see the club. Hey, what? Little baby help you when you need to get your lingo up. What? 21 gave you false street cred. Thug made you feel like you was a slime in your head. Hey, what? Quavo said you can be from North Side. What? 2 Chainz said you good, but he lied. You run to Atlanta when you need a few dollars. You're not a colleague. You a fucking colonizer. The family matter and the truth of the matter. It was God plans to show y'all that y'all the liar. That's true, because Drake be stealing people's shit. He do. Drake, anytime, I'm telling you right now, I remember when Drake gets on anybody's track, he steal their shit. He did it with Big Sean. He did a song with Big Sean and started taking Big Sean's flow. He got with Thugger. He started rapping like Thugger, doing all this trap music shit. Same thing with Lil Baby. Same thing with 21. Like, he takes a lot of people's style. I'm sorry to say, but that's what Drake does. He will, whoever's popping at the time, he takes their style and he runs with it. He really does. Sorry to say, but that's really what he does. Drake is a good person. I think he has good influence, but I also think he's trash when it comes to how he kind of takes and bites everyone's style. But we all know who won, and it was Kendrick. I'm thinking about doing a review video of all the tracks, because I'm still trying to figure out how this shit works on StreamYard, where I can play the music. So we'll do that soon. But we're here at the end of the show, y'all. Thank you guys for coming through and bantering with your boy. Hope you guys are living well and feeling well again. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to my page. I really would appreciate that. Make sure you follow my socials, which is The Real Doc Dre, which is my personal Bubba's Banter podcast. And also like, share, and follow my Facebook page, which is Bubba's Banter, baby. And follow all my streaming platforms, please. Nah, only the ones you're subscribed to or that you use, please. So I'll see y'all when the show comes out. All right, y'all. Peace.